It's like a commitment. If you perceive it kind of that, it will be easier for women who ever experience delivering the baby, so they can really feel it. What is it? But for those who never experience it, will be very difficult how to feel it, and will be misleading on understanding compassion. And also relating with the structure, I think compassion, to me, if it comes into the structure, it will be very dangerous, because the imagination of the structure for the human being is very limited. It is similar when the Sharia translate into the structure, it becomes chaotic. And then, so to me, it is good that compassion as like a soul that actually can influence the structure that we have currently in the world. That I think everybody agree that we have a very bad structure where actually the poorest become poor, something like that. Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Ruby. I'm working for Asian Muslim Action Network. Thank you.
Ya. Jadi langsung dari dua, mungkin tiga, yang lebih cepat. Jadi itu
Assalamualaikum. My name is Karen2Indonesia. I was also a student at the Pontifical Universities at Rome. I was living in Rome in monastery Catholic, and here I'm volunteer for School of Religion, ICRP. My question is, there are a lot of movement in this field, you know. When I was in Rome, I also visited Focolare. So actually, there are a lot of movement like what you do now. So what is what are you doing with so many movements? Do you cooperate with each other? Because I think it's like we all working by our own, you know. It's all of us just by our own, maybe just to get our own name or whatever it is. So this is my question.
Terima kasih. Satu lagi, perempuan lagi, karena ini semua yang bicara depan laki-laki semua ya. Jadi ya, maaf para laki-laki tadi sudah oleh penanya pertama, struktur kita ini struktur laki-laki. Ya. Jadi semua kitab suci itu ditulis oleh sangat erat dengan patriarkal. Jadi ini saya memberikan hak prerogatif kepada perempuan. Ya. Nanti saya
maaf ya, bukan gender juga sih sebetulnya. Sebetulnya saya tidak ingin bertanya, saya hanya ingin membuat pernyataan. Tadi waktu saya sempat bicara dengan teman saya, kalau gerakan compassion ini kan lahir diilhami dari pemahaman agama yang disalahartikan hingga kemudian terjadi konflik agama. Kemudian saya tanya, kalau ateis gimana ya, boleh nggak sih gabung ini? Nah lalu ternyata
pernyataannya apa?
Ya ternyata jawaban saya sudah dijawab sama Ibu Karen sendiri di pembukaan buku ini. Beliau bilang bahwa saya pikir dalam hal ini tradisi agama masih memiliki banyak hal untuk diajarkan kepada kita. Tapi penting untuk dikatakan bahwa program 12 langkah ini tidak bergantung kepada keyakinan supranatural dan imaniah. Dan Ibu Karen juga mengamini pernyataan dari Dalai Lama, dan saya juga sepakat dengan ucapan Dalai Lama bahwa tidak penting manusia itu beragama atau tidak, tetapi yang lebih penting adalah dia berbuat baik kepada sesama manusianya. Terima kasih.
Baik, jadi Ibu Karen akan menjawab. Mohon maaf para laki-laki kalau Anda merasa kecewa dengan saya.
First of all, about the lady, I'd like to tell you I've never had any children, and I'm not likely to have any now. And yet I do understand compassion, and that's just one of the words, one of the interpretations. The compathein, which is where we get our word compassion, is from Greek, and it means to endure with, to suffer with other people, to put yourself in other people's shoes. And karuna in Sanskrit has a connotation of taking responsibility for the pain of the world and committing yourself to action. So the womb thing is just, I think it's a very telling image. And it's not beyond the bounds of possibility for those of us who haven't had children to understand that. I have been a daughter. I have been given birth to. And I know often the pain of motherhood from being a daughter. I was not an easy daughter. Because for a great deal of my life I was extremely ill and in pain, and I think my mother suffered a lot from that, thinking that I was not going to recover. So seeing pain and seeing that responsibility, and I think even men can get a hang of that, especially fathers. They also have to take responsibility for their child. Yeah, the structure, I rather agree with that. The idea that when I look back at the history of religion, I see that the compassionate ethos has always been posed as an alternative. A way of saying there's another way to what's going on. The Ummah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was in the middle of capitalistic Mecca, another model of community. One where instead of everybody stampeding each other for more wealth, they shared their wealth. They gave alms, where they were not ashamed to pray with their foreheads touching the ground, which the Quraysh, the aristocratic Quraysh, found very, very humiliating. The idea that you would bow like a slave was repulsive to the Arab, but what it showed was the ultimate surrender of the ego to God, whereby you leave this prancing and preening ego that's constantly drawing attention to it and touch the ground, that you're humble. And the Quran is very much opposing the strident greedy ethos that was happening in a burgeoning capitalist market economy. And similarly, the Buddhist Sangha was also very much seen at the time of the Buddha as a distinct alternative, a challenging alternative to the royal power that was growing in India at that time. And the kings used to go and visit the Buddha in his Sangha, and the king said, would say to him, you know, when I come here, everybody is so kind and polite. They listen to me, they smile at me.